not talking about Survivor 44, even though the cast was just revealed last week. It's a long story, but basically, I like to go into the premiere fresh. Don't like to know anybody. Anyways, let's get to this. In my head, I was like, okay, this for sure can be a top 5. But looking at the players, I was like, we can do a top 6 here as well. Some of these are basically picks of people that you know are going to make it. I have excluded Marianne because she won. She'll probably come back at some point. She's just a great character. Jonathan, we know for sure is coming back. So I'm not going to include him as well because he's a for sure lock. That dude was a freight train. Starting off my list, I'm going for an Arkansas native, Tori. I think she made great TV. She had great reactions. Her feud with Rocksroy was amazing. She really had no agency in the game because everyone saw through what her game was, which was sow deceit and lie to people. And that's what she did. And, you know, it's funny, she's a therapist, but really, she really had a good play on the game. She just never had a chance because everyone knew how open her game was. She was very transparent about her game, and it was hard for her to get in anywhere. But I think she'd be a great asset for a returning season because she's going to play the same. She's not going to play any different. She's going to cause drama. She's going to, you know, eye rolls and great reactions. And you need that in a returning season. You need people that are willing to be themselves. And Tori is willing to be herself. Speaking of which, I already mentioned him, but I think Rocksroy needs to come back. I think they both need to come back for a rival season. I know post-game press, they talked about how there wasn't really a rivalry or a feud between them, but that's TV. I mean, obviously they're going to build up the parts that are the most dramatic. Now, they may have disagreed and stuff, but I think you bring them back for a rival season just because I think we need a rival season. That's not a controversial opinion in the Survivor internet fandom, but I think it would make a really compelling returnee season that they really haven't done. They obviously brought back Colby and Jerry a couple times. They've brought back other rivalries, Boston Rob and Russell, but there is room to make a rivalry season, and Tori and Rocksroy would be amazing on that season. Obviously, Rocksroy is a player just like Tori who's going to be themselves regardless. He played the game that he wanted to play regardless if he was going to win or not. He did things that he thought would be good for himself, but also things that he just wanted to do. Another person I want is, most of these are almost drama-filled, but that's okay because that's what you want in reality TV. You want drama, and Survivor creates drama for good reasons and bad reasons. But I think Drea needs to come back. She was like Thanos in her season. She had all these advantages, and she became a huge threat, and it was obvious, and they got her out when they should have gotten her out. But I think she is basically, I wouldn't say she's a villain, but there is room if they ever do a sequel to Heroes vs. Villains. We all hope, we all pray, we all wish for it. I think Drea makes an easy choice for the villain tribe because she was doing things to further herself in the game. And in a returnee season, I think she has that chip on her shoulder, so she wants to prove that she's a good player and that she can win. And I think that's what makes good returnee seasons, is when you have those players that want to prove that they are good at this game. Reminds me of Tyson in a way. When he came back for Blood versus Water, he needed to prove that he could win Survivor. And he created the strategy and the team and the alliances that got him to the end. A lot of these are linked together. These two are linked together from post-game press, so it would definitely make a really good rivalry season because there's a lot of drama that we don't know the full extent of. But Omar, I think, would make a good returnee. I mean, it's obvious. He was, before Marianne won the game, he was the one that was set up to win. He's very much in the Jesse role where it's like he played a little bit too early and then got voted out. But Omar, I think, makes compelling TV. He is funny. He is hilarious. There's obviously a beef with Drea that happened in, the jury. So in the jury, that there is some drama between them. We've only heard Omar's side of the story, so it's kind of hard to know what's fully true. But I think Omar would still play the game if asked. I know he has some trepidation at the moment, but he's a big fan, and I think he would love to prove that he can win the game too. In the same way that Drea wants to prove that she can win, I think Omar has the same fight in him. Another person who came up very short is Mike. Mike's just a good dude. I just love how he's just a goober. And I love goobers. I mean, obviously Gabler goobered us all the way to the win, but Mike almost had it. He just couldn't articulate why he was good at the game, and in many ways he wasn't good at the game, but he got to the end. And I think he needs to come back, just because we need comedic characters, and that's really fun, and I enjoy when there's comedic characters in each season. When there isn't, the season is not as good. Jersey runs Survivor basically at this point anyway, so you always got to have someone from Jersey. And my final pick, this may be out of left field, I don't know. I think Zach needs to be our first voted out to come back. He was the super fan of the season, and he failed so hard. Just absolutely just fell right into the sand, Sandra style. He was a failure. But I would like to see him come back because he's very funny on Twitter. He's very funny on Reddit. He does a lot of Rob Has a Podcast stuff. He would be really fun to see come back and be like, look, I'm going to get voted out again. Watch how funny this will be. But if he doesn't, I think he has a really good shot of making compelling TV and maybe burning bridges, or who knows. This guy, I think he has potential to be a good player, but also a chaotic player in a way that Survivor fans would enjoy. And that's my list, and I'm sticking to it. I don't know how to end this one.